Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to No Office Podcast 51. This is
Hi
Michael
everyone,
and this is Magda.
that's me again.
And we are together but apart.
Yes, now everyone in their own home office.
Yes, I am in mine, you're in yours. We are so many kilometers apart, yet we can, use the digital communication to record it in one virtual room. So let's
That's
get
right.
started because we have today a great episode. So, Magda, what do we want to talk about today?
We want to talk about something that we are a little bit crazy about in Nozbe and something that might not be fully clear to everyone. But we want to make sure you know why we are so much into task based communication and delegating tasks no matter what. We are going to tell you why, what is it, and why we think it's important. So let's let's start for this first point. Uh, what is it? This is a kind of communication when we don't bomb each other with messages, chat messages, emails, and any other types of messages. We just stick to tasks, and tasks are in context. They are in context of the projects that we uh, earlier prepared. These projects are topics, are areas of your business, or these are aspects of your business. And inside these topics we communicate through tasks. They are they are just established in this context, and it's everything is structured, everything is nicely ordered, and it's impossible to miss anything in this type of environment.
Yeah, we believe so much in this simple structure of projects, tasks, and comments. And we always explain to our customers who very often who come to Nozbe and they're like, yeah, but does it have this feature and this feature and this feature? We're like, yeah, we have all the features. We have features, don't worry. But if you manage to put everything you're working on into projects, tasks, and comments, you're already 90% there. Like you're already more organized. You know where to discuss things. You know a project is a big thing. It's divided into smaller tasks. And in these tasks, you have comments where you can iron out the details or make sure to update on the status update of the task and just, communicate through there instead of referring to email, messages, and all the chaos that comes with it.
Exactly. Another thing very important about task based communication is that it's centralizing communication around tasks. Centralizing, it means focusing. And yeah, that's what you said. We don't have this multi-channel chaotic conversations when no one can find anything. No, everything is centralized in preferably a nice task management tool, but of course, everyone can find their own way of centralizing this communication, but it should be based on tasks.
Yeah, it's important that it's all written down. So it's not just that we said, he said, she said, whatever. It's written down. So the information is like the project is written down, the tasks are written down, and the comments are written down. So if, like, even if somebody else joins the project, they can catch up by just reading the tasks and the comments that are already there, so that they can be on top of things very quickly and can catch up very quickly without needing additional meetings and additional reunions to make sure that they are on the same page.
Yeah, everything is registered, so there is no place for misunderstandings, for situations like, oh, you didn't tell me that. Yeah, we spoke on the phone, but I don't recall you telling me that. Everything is written down. You can quote, you can always get back to the message that you think that is unclear. Just written communication is more reliable and more long lasting and more evergreen.
Yes, completely. And the cool thing, I have this story that recently in Nozbe, our ex co-host Rafał, he left the company, and he was our VP of product. And recently, I was, still catching up on some things after he left, and I remember I stumbled one of the projects upon a conversation, upon a discussion in a task where Rafa was talking to Radek, our employee who left like a year ago. So I was like witnessing a conversation between two employees who no longer work with us, two team members who no longer are with us, but on the other hand, they are. I saw the discussion, I saw the what's going on, and I could very quickly catch up on this, and I could quickly see what they have decided, what happened, and this way, what I like about this is the fact that um, even when people leave the company, which happens, um, uh, or the team, or they change teams or whatever, the knowledge stays. So because it was written down in projects, tasks, and comments.
Yeah, it's not just it stays, it's structured and it's so easy to search through. So yeah, you are right. This example is very good for illustrating how task-based communication works in
Hmm.
practice. We said why we think it's so important and why we find it so useful. Uh, Now maybe we can give you some tips about how to effectively delegate tasks and how to do it right and how to do it so this task-based communication works even better. First point is total clarity. Clarify your expectation. When you are delegating or preparing a task for someone, just write down what it is that you are expecting. What's your goal? What should be the effect of this work, this task? What's the deadline? And whether it's really urgent or not so urgent.
Yeah, completely. And here I have a tip for all the managers and bosses out there, that I would say to, if you want your people to work better for you, you should do some homework as well. So, for example, I always prefer to delegate a task with all the information I have. So, for example, I want Magda to do something for me. So, what I do is that I create a task for her, but it's not like I just write a task name and just delegate Magda. That's it. I'm done. I mean, very often, usually, I go to comment and write the first comment with all the information I have until now. So I say, Magda, I would like this because I have seen that, and I have seen this, this article, and then I read this, and then I saw this YouTube video, and then I have this PDF here attached, and like I explain everything, and I'm like, and you take it from there. So this way,
Mhm.
um, it, it's really clear. Magda knows what I want. She sees everything in the comment to the task. Then she doesn't ask me so many follow-up questions, uh, and on the other hand, it's easier for her to get started. So really, even if you're like, let's say, from the position of power, you're the boss, you're the manager. Even at this moment, delegating a task is still a skill that requires really giving just more information, because with this, you like, your job basically is to make sure that others are doing great job for you.
Exactly. Another point is that when you are delegating tasks, it's your work. So as usually, we should look for ways to automate things and to optimize things. So if you are delegating task that has already been delegated or done before, don't be afraid to use templates, to reuse the tasks and the explanations and the expectations that you already uh, wrote down before. It's okay. It's great to have templates. It's great to uh, set recurrence in tasks. It's all about productivity. And at the same time, if your employees or if your colleagues know that you are going to delegate a similar task again and again, it will be easier for them to proceed because it will be they will be familiar with this kind of task already.
Yeah, we know that the key to productivity is to reduce the barrier of entry. So the easier you make it for other people, the easier it gets. We have a template also. We have a project template for a project uh, of recording this podcast. So we have, all the tasks to prepare the podcast, to prepare this information that we're sharing with you today, to schedule this live conversation, and then later to promote the podcast, of course. So we have all that in a project. And over there, as we create every 2 weeks, as we create another podcast episode, we are always tweaking the template. We are making sure that, for example, the people who are right for the job are doing the things that they're right for. Like we discovered that some things that, for example, we delegated to Magda should be done by Emilia because she will do it faster. And
Yeah,
other
because this is something she works on usually, so this is her field.
exactly. So this way we we keep tweaking this. Some things that I was supposed to do, I did to Paul, our video editor. So like all these things we keep on tweaking to make sure that every time we are recording a new podcast, we're recording a new episode, the right person for the job does the tasks, so that then it makes the whole preparation of this effortless.
Yeah, so the tip here is to assign your task and delegate your task to the right person. Ensure that tasks are delegated to the people who would do it best and
Hmm.
in the shortest period of time. And probably you should take into consideration their strengths and expertise.
Yes, completely. And and next tip is what I actually kind of said already,
Hmm.
is that attach the context. So explain in detail in the as much detail as you can. Be the summary of ChatGPT. In the task. What you want, how you want it, and then comes with another tip to clarify expectations and uh, uh, this way. So this way people know also when things are due, how to respond, when to update you on this. So it's really easy to for other people to know what your expectations are, when they're supposed to do it, and how. So for example, I just yesterday I created a task for Magda to help me with the column I'm writing for iMagazine, for a monthly magazine. And I asked her to do it by Thursday, and I have to report that sadly that she disobeyed, and she already did it on today on Wednesday. So so even though I
I
clarified the
was
expectations,
curious.
she did it one day earlier. So yeah.
Yeah, but you provided the context, yeah? So you always delegate a similar task to me monthly. So I pretty more I know what you expect me to do. You also provided a small checklist with the points I should focus on, what should be translated, what should be double read. And so yeah, if the person who is delegating, they know something, they shouldn't be hiding it, because this way they are just avoiding and minimizing the follow-up questions. And if the person doesn't know what to do exactly, the work will go slower. So if you
Exactly.
know something, just put it in your brief in the task, attach the documents, attach or maybe link to the similar tasks that were done before, so that the person can compare and maybe copy cat a little bit.
Yes, it's really important that in the comments you provide all the information that you have at this moment,
Mhm.
and also ask all the questions that you have as well. um uh, like this is for me so much fun when I see that we're working on something, and in a span of a task, I can see how the task develops, how then later we figure out, we forgot about this, then we have to do this. So but it keeps going, we keep asking questions until like we're done, so it's really good.
Mhm. Yeah, another thing that I wanted to say here is that I wrote somewhere the best way to use ChatGPT and other AI-based tools. Before you ask them something, or maybe no, first you ask them to do something, and then quickly add a simple question. Hey, ask me all the questions to you need to give me the right response.
Hmm.
So it's a little bit like with this question and this situation here.
Hmm.
What you need to do the task in the best way possible. So if you have some knowledge, please provide it in your task. But then you also ask the person what they need to do it uh, best.
Yeah, exactly. So, of course, now if you are already sold on task based communication, we would argue that the best way to do it is, of course, using our best tool in the world, Nozbe. There are other tools out there, of course, but ours is the best because it's our baby. So, like, we're gonna share our baby, um, and it follows the structure of projects, tasks, and comments. And we have additional features as well. As I mentioned, we have uh, uh, in projects you can have sections of projects, then you have tags which you can can help you additionally um, filter things out, and we'll talk about it more in this second part of this podcast. But before I do, I want to also explain to you how you can get Nozbe at a special deal for Nozbe, and start your task based communication journey quickly. Thank you for being an amazing listener of the No Office podcast. Every other Wednesday, we meet to talk about productivity and hybrid lifestyle because we believe that work is not a place to go, it's a thing to do. It's a special gift only to No Office podcast listeners. When you sign up for Nozbe using this link, nozbe.com/podcast, you'll get $30 of credits, which you can use to upgrade to Nozbe Premium. Nozbe helps thousands of smart business owners and their teams get their professional and private life organized in a single app in a simple way. And Nozbe is free for up to 3 active projects and 3 people on your team. So start today and claim your free bonus credits, which you will later need to upgrade to unlimited projects. Once again, thank you for being an amazing listener. Thanks for your support and for spreading the word about our No Office podcast and Nozbe. See you and hear you in the next episode, and in the meantime, claim your bonus credits here. Okay.
And Oscar goes to
Yes, exactly. Yes, Oscar goes to me for amazing ad read. Um, yeah, and in the in the notes below, in the show notes of the podcast, we will also link to a page where we have a short 5-minute video how to get started in 5 minutes with Nozbe. So I'm like, I'm proving to people that you can really quickly get started with Nozbe in less than 5 minutes with your coworkers. So and for free completely. So make sure to check it out. And now let's talk how we do what we do and why we do it so well.
Yeah, as we said, you can use any tool that is for task management, but we will use Nozbe as an example because we work with it every day. So maybe it will be more practical. As Michael already mentioned, in Nozbe we have projects and tasks, and within the tasks we have the special space for discussion and for gathering all this information that is needed to get the task done. So that's how it works. You create a small task within a project. And so the person who will be assigned to this task already knows the context. Okay, it's in the project XYZ. It means that it will be related to XYZ topic. Then in the task, we define what we expect the person to do. We add a deadline. We choose the person who is the best to do this job, and in the comment we write what we want to achieve. If you want to have some extra ways to to define this task, or to decide when, in what mood, in what place you want to get this task done, you can use tags, which are the way to categorize tasks across different projects. But I think these 3 steps, projects, tasks, and comments, are totally enough to start task based communication and to do it really, really well.
Yeah, and what we have discovered is that people really want to have communication in one app. So back in this summer, we launched messages in Nozbe. So
Mhm.
um, not only you can communicate through tasks, but you can also communicate through messages inside of Nozbe. So you're in the same context, you're in the same app. You are not going to Slack, or you're not going to Messenger, WhatsApp, or whatever. If you just want to, ask a question or something. And we did it also because, messages in Nozbe integrate very well with tasks. And the cool thing is that, for example, if in a message, uh, you write a long comment, which basically should be a comment to a task, in Nozbe, you can just tap on this message and create a task from this comment, from this message. Um,
Yeah, because it very often happens that when you just chatting with someone, a really good ideas, you come up with really nice things. So this way you don't have to rewrite it and copy and paste it. Just with one click, you out of a message you create a actionable task.
Yes, and just today, for example, I was writing a message to one of my coworkers, and then I realized that. So before I wrote to them like a longer message, I was like, "Huh, maybe I should create a task for this." So I created a task for it for this, and then what I did is I just like went back to the message and said and wrote another message. Yeah, so it's already in this task, so it's all there. So also in that sense that it integrates very well. And also, spoiler alert, group messages are coming to Nozbe very soon as well. So we will be testing group messages right now inside of Nozbe, and then soon we will release them to the world. So this way, uh, you can really have all of your communication in one app.
Yeah, I see you are as obsessed with tasks as I am. I also catch myself thinking, okay, I will message quickly to one of my colleagues, and then I said, nah, I won't be messaging. I will just create a task for it because it will end up with some kind of, uh, you know, things that will have to be done anyways. So
Anyway. hmm Yeah, I mean, this is the
just
cool thing is that when we launched messages in Nozbe, and we many of our team members were skeptical about this. Like, should we really have it? Isn't that a distraction?
I
Uh,
was not.
yes, Magda was one of them. And in the end, it turned out we love it. It's great that it's there, but we still, as you said, prefer to create tasks. So
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't
I'm not using messages a lot. I
exactly.
just stick to tasks.
No, I use them basically just only for one purpose. Hey, can we chat for a few minutes? Like so, and also very often in the message, what I write is, "Can we chat for a few minutes? I want to discuss this task or this project," and I link exactly what I want to discuss. So this way, I'm not adding noise to the current comments to tasks. So I'm writing a message, so it's outside of that.
Okay.
But on the other hand, I still, I link to our stuff. So that's a great thing.
Yeah. Also, it's in Nozbe. There are some ways for tracking the progress of a task. So when I delegate a task to someone and I'm waiting for them to get it done, or to proceed, I can observe how it's going by looking into my activity view, where I can see all the changes that have been made to the tasks that I participated in or that I have created. I can see whether someone added a comment or uploaded a new attachment. But as well, it's really nice to ask people how they are doing. But actually, in our company, it's not so needed because usually people write themselves how things are and what is progress, especially on Fridays or on our Mighty Fridays when we are running weekly review. Then in our key tasks, we just write a very, very short and basic report. How it's doing, what I have done so far, maybe what I'm missing, what I need to proceed, and stuff like that.
Yeah, completely. I mean, we learned that actually writing comments to tasks is a form of journaling as well. So this way, you journal. You finish your day. You write a comment to your task. I stopped here. I was struggling with this, and now I have to continue with that. So this way, you write to yourself as a journal, kind of, and to others to see like what you've been working on. And I think well, I'm a strong believer in writing is thinking. So by writing, you start, thinking and processing your thoughts. So it's really easy and it's really good to journal to yourself and journal to others, and this way you're sharing, what you did, but on the other hand, indirectly are asking for feedback. So um, I think it's great. I think you know this kind of journaling, learning to journal through communicating with tasks is a cool thing.
Hmm. Yeah, here are some more practical tips regarding delegating tasks and working with tasks. First, I think we've already said it, but it's it's always good to repeat that if a task is scary or it's too complex, it's really good to break it down into smaller steps. uh, you can just divide it into smaller tasks, or when you are using a task management tool like Nozbe, you can within a task create a small checklist with the steps that you need to take to get this task done. And what's nice that when you break a task into smaller steps, you don't necessarily have to start with the first from the top.
Yes.
Maybe you are in the mood, or maybe you are more likely to get done the last one, or maybe the one that is in the middle. But this way, you will move forward anyway.
Yes. So it's really it's also one of the features of Nozbe is that when you write a task and then you write a comment and then in comment you write a checklist, you can actually convert this into a project. So you can convert this note to this comment to a project, because this is what happens sometimes when you have when you start small and then you see that actually it's getting bigger and bigger. But I'm a really big fan of checklists, because sometimes a task is like medium. It requires several steps, but it's not a project. So I prefer to write a comment, and a checklist, and this way I can just follow the checklist.
Mhm.
And really, following a checklist it gives you so much satisfaction. It's just, you can just dang 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 dang, you just follow it, tick everything, and then you're like, okay, it's done.
That's true. Another point that I wanted to mention, although you've already done it, is the thing that with task based communication and with writing these small reports and um, registering your progress, it's really helpful in a company in terms of redelegating or handing over tasks. Whenever people leave the company or whenever people just change departments, the task uh, goes to another person. It gets reassigned. So this way, if there is a whole history of the task written down, the new person feels at home. They can see what's been done. Um, they have all the documents and the whole documentation.
Hmm. Yeah. Also, I want to point out that here, Mike St. Pierre, a big fan of our podcast, said that he's also a big fan of messages, and that it's a great addition to the app. And I totally agree. Yes, our customers are also saying the same thing. So thanks, Mike. And this is so true. This is so true. And yeah. So speaking of feedback loops, there is no proper way to delegate. Everything depends on the culture of the company, of the team, of how you want to work. Some people prefer to, for example, like have a task delegated, let's say delegated to a person, and then when this person needs feedback, they just mention you. But the delegation stays the same. I mean, because they are responsible for the task, so they just mention, they mention somebody else if they want some feedback from someone in the comments. So and I love this fact that it's so easy to ask for feedback. Like I'm working on a task between, let's say we're working on a task between both of us, but I want some feedback from Emilia. I'm mentioning at Emilia, hey, have you seen that, or what are your thoughts? And then I get her feedback. Or like in our team, we have a group of all our marketing people. We call it marketing team. So very often we just mention a marketing team. This is, for example, what you do when you have demos. So there is a chance to talk to Magda to have a demo of Nozbe if you go to nozbe.com/demo. And when you schedule a demo with Magda, it automatically creates a task, of course, in Nozbe, because of course. And then once the demo happens, Magda adds her notes, and then when she adds her notes, she mentions at the end of the note at marketing team. This way, all of us are being mentioned there, because this way we can learn what she has learned in the demo, see how we can help her, how we can give her additional feedback. So this is
Mhm.
one very cool way. And but
Yeah, I have some secrets about how I deal with these tasks related to my demo meetings. One secret to reveal is, in order to write down this report, this the whole summary of my conversation, which sometimes gets really long. Sometimes I talk for 1 hour or 1 hour and a half with a client, if they are not certain, if they have some questions how to implement Nozbe in their work environment. And then what I do to stretch my back, to just change my position, I take my phone, I open Nozbe, I go to the task dedicated to this particular person, and I open the new comment window. And on the keyboard, I press a small microphone, which lets me dictate. It's not a voice message, it's dictating a text. And so for 3 or 5 minutes, I'm just walking around my living room or my home office, and I'm dictating all my thoughts or my, what we said, what problems they faced. And when I'm done, I send the comment. I go back to my computer and I open exactly the same task and comment on my laptop, and I just edit a little bit this comment, because sometimes with dictating,
yeah,
yeah, it doesn't work perfectly. So I have to change several weird words that
exactly.
Siri understood. Mm, and yeah, and this way I have a really nice comment with a lot of information. As you said, I always mention my team. If there are some technical questions, I also mention the person from technical department, so that they can also respond to some of the questions that I couldn't reply myself during the conversation. Um, and and what else? Oh, and at the end, because this demo thing is kind of sales chat. So I want to know how it went. So what I do is I change the delegation of this task to the person from our customer support. They have the access to our payment system and our, like, yeah, the
Customer support panel.
backend
Mhm.
backend system, and they will see whether the person decided to buy the subscription, or maybe the person resigned. And then, so I redelegate my task to another person, and I give them the deadline for the next week. And in a in a week, they just come back to me with some feedback. Magda, oh, they bought 1 month subscription, or they wrote to us with some more technical questions. So yeah, so we play kind of ping pong. I delegate the task to someone. When they are done, they delegate it back to me, and so it goes.
Yeah, I mean it's perfect. It works very well, and I like your idea of dictating things, and I like your idea. I mean, and this is what we are also kind of selling with Nozbe, is that um, Nozbe works great on all the platforms. So you can, like what you did, you can work on your desktop with Nozbe, and then you stand up, pick up your phone, everything automatically synchronizes to your phone. So you just open the same task, you open the comment, you dictate the comment, you sit
Mhm.
down by the computer, the comment syncs back to your computer, and then you can edit the comment, and then you can mention us, and this way everything is perfect. So it's really like this way that you can work from anywhere with Nozbe. This way, again, there is no excuse for you not to delegate tasks to others, not to not to write a comment, not to write feedback, and it's there. You have the phone with you. And one of our customers, he is supervising several renovations, in several places in the whole country. And he says that, and in his testimonial, he actually told me that thanks to Nozbe, he's present everywhere. Like he can supervise several renovations, several building sites, because he just changes the project and he just checks what's going on in each of the projects. So for him, this is like his superpower, that he can be anywhere. He can basically teleport thanks to using Nozbe. He can use it, on the phone. So it's like I'm really, this is something I'm really proud of, and I think I'm really happy with, that we can empower people to basically manage their business from the palm of their hands. Like, this is something really, really, powerful on these days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. So speaking of, we spoke a lot today, and we're getting slowly to the finish of this episode. But it was us with our infinite wisdom, how we told you about task-based communication. But let us give you some additional tips, and but especially Magda has prepared some additional sources that confirm what we just said. But before we do that, I'll let Sarah talk about how Nozbe basically helped build her business.
When we've been around for about 10 years, our business has, and we've been using Nozbe for about 8 of those years. And as we grew, we kind of got to the point where I just couldn't remember everything anymore. I'm pretty organized. I would just kind of keep everything in my head and with post-it notes and things like that. And it just got to be too much. And so I started looking around for some sort of project management software that could help me set up really a trusted system. But really, I just wanted a system where I could know that I had everything in there. I wasn't going to forget anything. I wasn't going to drop any balls for our clients or miss deadlines.
Yeah, so I think what Sarah said is it's really critical, that you can find things quickly. And I remember while talking to Sarah, she told me that when she was on a call, for example, with a potential customer, and they would say their name, she would quickly search the name in Nozbe, and very often she would find, for example, an old task with this customer that never closed, and a sale that never closed. And in this task, she had a comment with everything, all the information that they discussed on that call. So she's like, when they're saying their name and they're like, probably you don't remember me, and she's like, oh yes, I remember you. We discussed this and this, 2 years ago, and you were thinking. They are like blown away that she remembers. And of course, she doesn't remember, but she has the tasks and the comments. Like, she has the information, and
And she can
here
find them. Do you
and she can,
remember, Michael, the person who
yes.
shared the experience with multiple channels?
Oh man,
Oh gosh.
like earlier today, we had a comment, that one of our listeners said that it's hard to convince people to use one app, but on the other hand, the downside is that because in his team they are using different apps, they had a
Yeah,
client meeting.
WhatsApp, Messenger, email, like multiple channels.
Yes, and they had a client meeting, and they had to find something, and like this person was frantically searching for it while they were just sitting quietly, awkwardly with the client for 15 minutes waiting for this guy to find the
To
information.
scroll through all his chat applications and tools. Jesus.
Exactly.
It's so great to have Nozbe with task-based communication. When you just use the search tool, you type the keyword that you remember that you probably wrote in one of the comments, and Nozbe just shows you several suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, you can search not only in the task names but also in the task comments. So in
Comments,
the end,
yeah.
you will find these things, and you can also search in completed tasks and completed projects, which really, this makes it so easy to close the loops, close the projects, close the tasks, but then later get back. Like, how many times when we are organizing our reunion, for example, we have checked our previous reunions, so our previous projects from reunions, to see how we
Mhm.
did something, how we ordered something, how much something cost. Like, we've got this information. It's just there, and you can find it, also with having Nozbe on your phone. So okay, Magda, but
We have our own opinions. We have Sarah's opinion, and
yes.
now, just when I was preparing for this episode, I came across several uh, actual scientific research and studies. One was I think it was published in Harvard Business Review, and the other one in Journal of Applied Psychology. And both these sources showed me that people, they really need to have tasks delegated to them. If people feel that they have access to the necessary resources, they know what to do, they receive clear task instructions, their performance improves up to 25%. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I
Just
just
by going through with task-based communication, you can do so much more.
Yeah, and whenever people are asking us about Nozbe, I'm just telling them that they can get at least an hour or two a month using Nozbe, which I'm just like really lowering the expectations. But 25%, like man, this is like 1 week extra of work that that you don't have to search for things. You have the clarity of what you want to do. You have the clarity of execution. The things that have
Exactly.
to be done. Like it just Magda, just think about this podcast. Like in the beginning in September, like when we were getting started, it was much more work. Now this podcast is much less work from us. Um it's easier to still focus. So this time that we gained by not having to manage this podcast so much, we can spend on preparing a better episode, on doing more research,
Mhm.
just like this journal of applied psychology or whatever. So like we can do that, to give people better quality feedback.
That's true. At the end, we have some, I don't know how to say it, some things that we want to tell you about and ask you about. First thing we want to ask, especially the managers and the bosses, is the fact that the task is not a crime. Getting a task is not a humiliation. Just let your people, the people from your team, your employees, also task you with some jobs, sometimes instead of calling you or going to your office asking you for something. If they just create a task and they write down what they want to know or what they need from you, it's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that I have seen some managers and bosses struggle. That how I am the boss, I am delegating tasks, not people are delegating tasks to me. Like I. But yeah, but with task-based communication, we are leveling the playing field. We are working together. So it means that if somebody wants something from you, they create a task for you, not to give you a job, but to actually ask you for some information or for some feedback or whatever they need to do also their work. So it's really okay that people are creating tasks for you. I mean, for me, many people are creating tasks for me, and it's even better if we are discussing something on a video call or whatever. I'm like, okay, create tasks for me. Like it's like like just if you want this for me to be done, create a task for me. If you will not create the task for me, I will not do it. So
There is a big
uh,
chance you will just lose it somewhere, you will forget, it will
exactly,
just
exactly.
fall through the cracks,
But this way, it's written down, it's there,
and it's
and
delegated to you.
and they get to me. So it's gonna be come to my incoming in Nozbe. It's gonna be there, and as you have seen recently, I've been really diligently cleaning my incoming. So every time there is a mention on somebody's delegating task to me, I am responding quickly. Um, to make sure that people can keep up. For me as a boss, I think the worst part is that when I'm a blocker, when I'm blocking something from happening, or it's I hate it, and I think people hate it more, you know. So
Yeah.
so this way, if I keep playing, if I keep kicking the ball back, people are playing faster and playing better. And I've seen our team these past months play much better, because we've been all supporting each other. And one of these
And
ways,
you are not a bottleneck
and I am
anymore.
not I'm not a bottleneck anymore. I am kicking the ball as well. And this is really important. This is really crucial. And it really helps, also this camaraderie. Like you're like better, like you're partners in crime, when you work together, when you delegate tasks to each other, when you do the task ping pong. It's I think this is the way to go, and this is the way people actually like to work.
Mhm. Yeah, this is a sense of being together and
Yeah.
doing, fighting for the same goal. Another postulate we have for you is don't be afraid to create tasks and task people and delegate tasks to people who are sitting in the same room or even at the same table. There is nothing wrong with that, because, as we said, written communication is more reliable. If, of course, you can tap someone on the shoulder and tell them, hey, quickly, can you give me this and this, or can you do this and this for me? But then, okay, but how, but when? You didn't tell me that. Oh, it was yesterday, but we didn't fully understood each other. Come on,
Mhm.
if you just create a small task for the person who is sitting next to you, it will be written down. You have access to it in the future. Other people will be able to see what you guys decided or what you are guys planning. So there's nothing. Task-based communication is not just for remote or dispersed teams. It's also for people who are working in the office.
I have two examples. So one example is just today. I had a meeting with a client, a Zoom meeting with a client, and after the meeting, I wanted to discuss this meeting quickly with Emilia because she is responsible for this client. So I wanted to jump with her on a short call just to discuss, the things from this meeting. After that, what I quickly did is jump back to the comment and wrote down what we discussed with Emilia and what I discussed with the client as a note to this task. This way, not only Emilia and me are in the know, but everybody else can be in the know what's going on, what we
I don't
discussed.
feel excluded.
And you don't feel excluded, Magda. Exactly that. There was a secret meeting of Emilia and Michael, and I wasn't there. So exactly. So this way, I needed her quick feedback in a verbal form, on a quick Zoom call because I was fresh off this call. But then later, we did write things down so that everybody else knows, and also that we can then, work through this together like longer. Because of course, the first impression is the first impression, but later when you write it down, as I mentioned, writing is thinking. You put things in perspective, and then you can get additional feedback also from Magda, who then now is also in the know because she can see the comment.
Yeah, I think I know what other example you want to give us.
Exactly. So one of our customers, I remember vividly this story. They were using Nozbe a lot, in the, before the pandemic. But when the pandemic hit and everybody was forced to go to home office, he told me it was like for them nothing changed because they were going to the office every day before the pandemic. They were all working from the same office, but they were using Nozbe and they were using task-based communication all the time because they are a company that manages many buildings and many apartments. So they
Rental management.
rental management. So they needed to have everything written down. Of course, the contracts, everything, the situation, the upkeep, everything. And he said that the moment they went to their home offices, they were like, basically nothing changed. We are still communicating through tasks. It's just that we are not in the same place now. But other than that, everything just like for them, this transition was so smooth. They just were surprised that they didn't skip a beat. Like it's just like
Yeah.
natural transition.
hmm So it's so worth to create such a culture and this kind of communication that is based on tasks. And this is our last call to action for you. Just try to look into your way of communication and delegation processes. Maybe you can identify some areas where you could introduce task-based communication, or maybe you are already doing it, but maybe you could improve it even more.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
think of. Hmm?
you just think about these things that you as a manager or a boss could improve to make it easier for people to do work for you. When you just reply to comments, when you give them more feedback, when you prepare a task for them with all your thoughts, like all these things that we mentioned today. And some people tell me, Michael, I'm just like this guy today about searching for information for a client for 15 minutes, that it's so hard to change habits of the company, to start doing task-based communication. And in the show notes, again, as we mentioned, we'll link to this video where I explain how in 5 minutes flat with a timer, you can set up from nothing a Nozbe account, a free Nozbe account, invite your two coworkers, and start your first projects and first tasks together. And I would encourage you to start small, to just do it. Set up an account, start adding your first projects, and tell your coworkers, look, these 3 projects will do only in Nozbe. Everything else we'll do the old way. We'll send emails and stuff. Uh, and then you'll see the difference. you know, for me, all my life, uh, I was always thinking that, if you want to make sure that you have an opinion on something, try it. So if you try it, you will see the difference. You will see the comparison. Okay, so do we want to keep emailing each other or and sending WhatsApps or messages or whatever, or do we want to write everything in projects, tasks, and comments?
Yeah. That's a great final.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. So we'll be back in this time in 3 weeks because we're not recording because of the All Saints Day. So we're taking a longer break from the podcast. So 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, there will be a new recording of this podcast. As always, 10 a.m. New York Eastern Time. This is 4 p.m. In Europe. So it's a good time for us at the end of the workday and for Americans, for our American friends at the beginning of their workday to be live for you guys. And of course, for everyone who's listening audio, they can download the new episode as soon as it becomes available on a Friday. So please try task-based communication. Let us know how it went. Just email support@nozbe.com or questions@nozbe.com and let us know. And
if you have any problems or you are afraid to start, you can just set up an appointment with me, schedule a consultation, and I'll be happy to help you.
go to nozbe.com/demo and talk to Magda. Okay. Thank you so much. And see you and hear you in the next one of No Office episodes. Because remember, work is not a place to go, it's a thing to do.